Kia ora whanau. Well, it's pretty late at night here in Tāmaki, but just hopefully a fairly short video to explain why I'm opposed to the signing of that agreement in principle tomorrow. But let me share my screen, bring that up. Now, negotiations. Te Whanau have been in negotiations for some time now. What are negotiations? Negotiations take place when two opposing parties seek to negotiate a compromise between their respective positions. It goes sort of something like this. There you go, there's a football field. Negotiations. Each end, one end, Māori, Te Whanau Apanui. Other end, the Crown. The negotiators for both sides work out a starting negotiation position. They get an approval from their principals to put forward that position to the other party. There we go. That should be how it is. Te Whanau Apanui put their taiaha, their stake in the ground. The Crown have done the same at the other end, the wider part. Something like the recent teacher negotiations. The government and the teachers' union were far apart when they started, but that's the opening gambit. In the negotiations, each side usually rejects the other side's starting position. That's what happened with the teachers, and that's what should have happened here between Te Whanau Apanui and the Crown. And when that happens, each side goes back to their respective principles, and they work out a compromise position. And there we are, the stakes, the taiaha, the Crown scepter, they have moved. But not that far forward, both sides not happy, again they go back to their respective principles. And hopefully, after time, the two parties will eventually agree on a compromise position where they come together, just as the teachers did with the government. And there we go. There's the compromise position that has come forward as a result of intense consultation. At each step in the negotiation process, the negotiators go back to the principals to work out a new settlement offer. But that is not what happened with Te Whanau Apanui and the Crown. On 19th of June 2019, that is 8 days ago, Minister Andrew Little presented Te Whanau Apanui with the Crown's formal offer, referred to as the Agreement in Principle, the AIP. And that sets a stake in the ground for the Crown. And guess what? It's down their position. It certainly is not close to what I think we at Te Whanau Apanui want. Now, the hapu of Te Whanau Apanui had been told that we would be consulted on the AIP and we would be able to make informed comment and respond accordingly. The Crown's AIP was drafted over a period of several months. The AIP is 98 pages of complex and complicated legalese. The AIP took the Crown with a small army of highly paid lawyers and policy analysts several months to draft. Once Minister Little was happy with the draft, the AIP was submitted to a Cabinet Committee for approval. Once the Cabinet Committee was happy, it was then submitted to full Cabinet for approval. Only then could the formal AIP be presented to Te Whanau Apanui for consideration. And in his letter of 19 June 2019, Minister Little told Te Whanau Apanui, "You must agree to sign the AIP by 23 June 2019. This is a document that took many months of highly paid, a small army of lawyers and policy analysts. And for that, Minister Little gave us less than 4 days to review, to read and comment on the AIP, because he had already scheduled with our negotiators to sign the AIP at Otuwhare on the 28th of June, 2019. That's tomorrow, because it's 11 o'clock at night here. And there we go. Our negotiators have agreed, our hapu chairs have agreed to sign up to the Crown's offer at their end of the field. You know, the thief has set the agenda. The thief has said, you, Te Whanau, sign up to what we are going to offer you. Don't care what your position is, Te Whanau. That's it. And our negotiators, our hapu chairs, have sold their souls and decided to bask in the glory of a signing ceremony at Otuwhare tomorrow. Te Whanau was not given the chance to place an opening starting point. Our starting point is the ending point. Our starting point is the Crown's offer, and that's because our negotiators, our hapu chairs, apparently have decided to sign up to the Crown's offer. Now, my hapu of Ngati Paiako received the AIP on 23 June 2019. On the same day, we also found out that our negotiators had already agreed to sign the AIP on 28 June 2019. In other words, the consultation process was a fraud. It's a fraud on the memories of our tipuna. It is a fraud on those of our whānau who have suffered for 179 years and 4 months. How can our negotiators, how can our hapu chairs look at themselves in the mirror and say they are happy to sign up to this fraudulent process? A fraud our negotiators had agreed to when the Crown stated in a document to Te Whanau that the Crown's honour would be restored with the signing of the AOP. There's no honour in this process. It is simply the dominant party telling the victim, that is, the Crown telling us, Te Whanau Apanui, you will do as you're told. You will accept what we give you. And I don't accept it. I am pretty sure the majority of the Whanau Apanui don't accept it. How could our negotiators ever allow themselves to fall into this trap with the Crown? I reject it. I believe Te Whanau Apanui should demand that the Matanuku Mahawika be replaced as a negotiator. His primary allegiance is to Ngati Porou. And in that AIP, he has written in aspects to ensure Ngati Porou's interests are taken care of at the expense of Te Whanau Apanui. And Natalie, wonderful young person who's done her whānau, her grandfather, who I loved and cherished and worked with for many years, proud. We don't get too many Harvard-trained lawyers in Tau Māori. But Natalie, she's an employee of Matanuku. Therefore, I don't believe it's appropriate she should be a negotiator as well. Anyway, those are my thoughts. The battle's just begun because I'm not going to accept it. You know, I'd ask Rikirangi, claim Y287. Why do you think that you have the right to sign away that claim? That claim was lodged in 1991 by my daughter Alana over the teaching of history in this country. She did not authorize you to sign away her rights. You didn't contact her. Matanuku didn't contact her. Natalie didn't contact her. Minister Little didn't contact her. The Office of Treaty Settlements didn't contact her, nor did the Waitangi Tribunal. None of you have that right to sign away her treaty claim. There are 44 other claims that are lodged that are listed in that AIP. Now, I don't know the basis of those. I don't know who put them in. But I ask you, negotiators, did you get authority from every one of those claimants? And if not, then why do you think you have the right to sign away their treaty claims? Nō reira e Te Whanau, ngā whanaunga o Te Whanau Apanui he minu ki a koutou. Let the battle start. And that's me for tonight. I will sign this thing out.